Good afternoon, Paul Hawksby, Charlie Baker here on TalkSport. Those opening lines from the rich and famous, thank you for those. We'll bring you some more of those a little bit later on. But first, kick-ins are in the news today. Arsene Wenger has been very keen, he's been banging on about this for ages. They're going to trial them. Not for the first time in this country, should we get chosen as the guinea pigs. It's normally the Dutch second division that always seems to cop it for some reason. They must hate it, being the kind of lab rats of world football. Yeah. But anyway, they tried it in the Diadora League back in the 90s, mid-90s. And it wasn't very popular. I was reading a kind of load of fans talking about it. If you remember it, if you remember the kick-ins from that era, you supported the team, do let us know this afternoon what your experience of it was. TalkSport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH&J. One former manager in that league was so incensed, he threatened to substitute or sack any player who took one. They went the whole season without doing it. His former Spurs and Brentford player, Allan Cockram. Good afternoon, Alan.
Hey, Alan.
Good afternoon, Paul and Charlie. How are you?
Yeah, great.
Very well,
we're good.
Alan. Thank you.
Alan. Appreciate you joining us to relive those the glorious kick-in years. Why were you so against them?
Oh, very simple. I was brought up at Tottenham for 10 years, so it was almost illegal to play high, long balls. I think, well, first of all, can I say thank you for dragging me back into this dystopian nightmare? Now, I thought I'd had enough therapy to get over the kicking, but now my Twitter account lit up last night, and here I am on TalkSport.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a principle thing. Also, I was running the St Albans Academy at the time, and it was my first year, could you believe it, as manager. And I had to stand up against the whole of the Diadora League, so sort of 90, 100 managers, and decided not to do it. And you're fired if you do it, as I said to my players. So it was a matter of principle, real principle, because we'd come out of the abyss of 80s football, and we were slowly starting to see the ball played on the deck. And all of a sudden, it was a comedy hour of games. So it was you would have laughed. It was a great comedy factor. But as far as playing football was concerned, it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I was reading some quotes from one of your players at the time, Andy Polston, who was saying that we didn't do it, and actually quite a lot of teams that we played against took against us because we weren't prepared to do it. They weren't happy that we weren't using kick-ins. It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I was the youngest manager at the time. I think I was 29, and they saw that as, well, if we're all doing it, why aren't you doing it? I mean, it's like anything, isn't it? You know, someone's got to make a stand somewhere along the line. I couldn't see any advantage to it because imagine this, guys. It was a kick-in from anywhere on the pitch and no offsides.
Right,
yeah.
So you can imagine, we even had left backs going to right back going to left back to take the kick-ins. So, and everyone polled in the keeper. So it was a sizes sport. It was like basketball. Might as well have the NBA playing with it.
It's odd that Arsene Wenger's so keen, Alan, isn't it? Because, he's not a long ball merchant, and I think the rule will be that it's only in the opposition half you can have the kick in. But there will be, for every side that plays it short and keeps the ball moving, because I think it's about keeping the ball in play. And he's maybe got this image that everybody will become, quite tippy-tappy and keep it on the ground and treat the kick with respect. But there will be sides that just load the box and lump it in there, which is probably not what he wants.
Exactly. But I must point out about keeping the ball in play, it's the opposite, because you would have managers with their wingers getting them to kick it off the defender's legs rather than taking people on. And it was an advantage to have a throw-in rather than a corner. So I timed one game that we played in sunny Grays, one dismal January afternoon. The ball was in play for 20 minutes.
Wow. So, I mean, hopefully the trials will ultimately show this. I mean, he's very, very keen on it. So it sounds like it's going to take an awful lot for him to be put off.
Maybe he thinks, because even keepers don't knock it long particularly anymore, at all levels of the league. Maybe he's thinking that it will be sort of become a bit more play it out from the back style. But if you go down to, Wrexham in the National League last year, basically bought Ben Tozer because he was a long throw merchant to just try and lob it in the box. So I think he would. I think Alan's absolutely right. People would just start lobbing it in the box and you get 6'9" strikers back again.
Looking at your stats from that season, Alan, it didn't do you a great deal of damage. You were the highest scorers in the league anyway by refusing to take kick-ins.
Yeah, I mean, we had some amazing players, and we played some great football. And a lot of the managers, when we played them, to be fair, would adopt the ordinary rules, should I say, until we started beating them. And then the last 10 minutes, they'd go, all in, boys, get in the box, smash it up. So it was I remember Alan Turvey, God bless him, the Deodora chairman, running me round the pitch, saying I was out of order and this would be in the Football League in 2 years' time. And I said, there's no way this could ever be. And also what we've got to think about, guys, also is the head injuries. Yeah. So if you're lumping balls up in the air to the keeper and 6'10" players, you've got to think about all the injuries that can take place from that.
I think Arthur maybe is judging the world on his own sort of aesthetic standards and what he expects from footballers, but maybe in reality, well, look, we'll see what happens.
Sorry, Alan. A lot of love for you on the text board at the moment. Lifelong supporter of St Albans City, Allan Cockram remains one of the most technically gifted players I've ever seen, an absolute legend and total entertainer, and everyone at the club supported his decision not to do kick-ins, which is very nice.
Yeah, there's a memory of that sort of era. Allan Cockram's a legend at Brentford, says Brian from Brentford. My mum was in love with his long flowing locks. You still got those, Alan?
No, they've gone for a more swept-back Bros look now.
Oh, not Bros. No, lovely.
Nice. Yeah, and I couldn't have the long hair, just in case the kick-in comes back in again. The hair would flick me in the eye. So,
now, you've in Brentford, you've established a football. It's a beautiful story. You've set up a football club, Brentford Penguins FC. Tell us a bit more about them.
Yeah, 5 years in October. We will be celebrating our fifth year anniversary. It's the best thing, guys, I've ever done in my life. We started off with 4 kids and now we have 27. And everyone says, you've got to be involved with something bigger than yourself. And the results of the children, what they've done in the last 4 to 5 years has been fantastic. And I must say, in the last season, Brentford has supported us a lot. We go to every home game and all the supporters know us. But it's not that. The kids are the most amazing people on earth. And I think if we all had DS, we'd be on a better planet, because they really do tell you if they hate you.
Yeah, we should point out, we haven't said yet, all the children involved at the club have Down syndrome. It came from a friend of yours losing his son, and you promised him then that you'd one day start a football club for kids with Down syndrome. And I was reading a piece in The Guardian. So you say the way that some kids that come there and would often spend the first season not engaging and not getting involved, suddenly just, changing completely and fully engaged.
All the kids are on a different timeline. And we've had my wife, was with one kid for nearly 2 years, and all of a sudden he just sprouted and come out of himself. But the feedback we're getting from schools of how these kids have taken off has been quite amazing. And I've got to give a shout out, guys. We're going over to charity status. Here's my little thing.
Excellent.
And go to our website and support us, please, because we're going to need about 10 grand to get that off the ground. So there's my little plug. But yeah, for all the parents, we've got 2 teams really, guys. The kids are fantastic and I love them to pieces, but the parents is such a support mechanism for the parents as well. So yeah, we can only grow and get bigger and better, and that's thanks to you guys as well for letting me speak about it.
It's a pleasure.
I read that into you as well, and you seem a man full of empathy, Alan, and full of all the right ways that football should be played and what football is best at doing. And
we played for Tottenham.
Yeah, that was a shame. Other than that, but really, really, really interesting. And did you enjoy your flight in the Spitfire?
Yeah, that was a lovely touch, wasn't it? That was a thank you.
That was a thank you from The Guardian. I mean, I was a bit, my nan always taught me to, if you don't ask, you don't get. And I saw the other Guardian articles and people were getting potted plants and Chinese dinners.
Yeah.
And I just said, all right, well, I want to fly in a Spitfire. And they know. And the beauty of it as well was a lot of the kids were there as well, and they took them up in a plane next door to me.
Oh, fantastic!
So they were able to see Flight Lieutenant RAF Flight Service Cockram flying his Spitfire.
Well, keep up the good work over at Brentford Penguins. Good to talk to you, Alan. All the best. I'm sure you're going to get a lot more people wanting to know about your kicking experience over the next couple of months. But all the best. Good to talk to you.
Love you guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Allan Cockram there, former manager of St Albans City, the man who said to his players, kick it in, boys. and you're sacked.
Yeah, so is it BrentfordPenguins.com?
Penguins.
Is it, or...
Well, it's certainly, if you go to Twitter, you'll find it. We'll find the website. We'll tweet it out from @TSH&J, all the details.
Brilliant.
But doing some great work.
Yeah, really good work.
Is Allan, obviously fondly remembered at Brentford.
Fondly.
And indeed, I probably saw him play. I mean, he played a few times for Tottenham in the 80s when I was going. So I probably saw Allan play.
Nice. What are you doing that for, Allan?
Yeah.
Get your hair cut.
Go on. Anyway, it's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on TalkSport. 3 live races to come from Royal Ascot later on with Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly. We'll catch up with them. We'll keep in touch with the cricket as well when they're back out there as lunch. England 36-1. Their target is 299. It's delicately poised. And thank you for all of these celebrities that had the strange phrases they said to you. We'll bring you the best of those over the next 2 and a bit hours.